In this video, we're going to take a look across the board. We're going to focus in here on the S&P 500, stop in over on the Nasdaq, take a brief look at the Russell as well as the Dow. But we're going to focus really in on the dollar right now, as the dollar right here is getting ready to print new yearly lows over here. We're going to look at what is possibly next and look at some higher time frame just to get a better idea of what we're looking at. It really is all a dollar story. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing. We'll be taking a look also at gold, silver, and of course at Bitcoin and at Ethereum across the board. We're going to start over here with the S&P 500. You could see that we are coming back here earlier today in no man's land. By no man's land, I said that we were at the midpoint of this channel over here. Here is the lower support over here. Again, over here was the top resistance of the channel. That then broke above up. That was confirmed into support. We came below it. That's now resistance. And you can see that that's where we are right now. Still with inside this greater channel over here, but testing the resistance. We're still waiting on what I believe is driving the markets over the next 24 hours. That's not the Fed meeting minutes released tomorrow. That's not non-farm payrolls released on Friday, but it is the Georgia election results that we should be receiving sometime after midnight tonight. What at this moment in time the markets are actually pricing in, I am unable to say. It seems to me that this election could go either which way. We're not going to talk about or discuss right now whether or not Georgia goes red or blue, how that will affect the markets. What we're going to do is watch how the markets price that all in over the next 24 hours. Tomorrow's session, tomorrow's morning live stream should be really full of action. Looking forward to that one and sharing that with you. Right now, what I really want you to focus on technically, we have the S&P coming into this area of resistance of this channel. Yes, above there, right? That would be entirely bullish. We don't need to understand or know who wins and whether or not how the market prices it in. We could just watch price alone. If price gets above this resistance, if we're able to get an entry, either confirming this broken resistance into support or over here at new all-time highs, that will be some clean entries on the upside. Nasdaq also over here, you can see this channel over here, this line, I'll make it a little bit darker for you, is currently being respected right now. That continues to hold there as support, but we're in no man's land, and you can see where my mouse is right now. That little bit of resistance is kind of where price is trading. It was resistance right over here around the 18th and 19th of December, and then that area held as support over here the last week of December. That's what we're trading into right now. So the markets continue to be range bound ahead of the Georgia election. Definitely off their lows today. Russell up 2%. Look at that clean move off of the support right over there. Beautiful. Russell up 2%, but again, into an area of resistance. Do not chase this momentum. Do not ever buy into resistance. Dow over here also caught into an area of congestion. The dollar is what we're seeing today. The dollar is off almost 0.5% today. The dollar is trading off of here at yearly lows. I want to give you a deeper dive into the dollar real quick before we get into the precious metals, gold, silver, and then into Bitcoin over here. Right now flirting with $34,000 and Ethereum with $1,100. Beautiful to see. We'll get into that in 1 second. I want to share this with you. This is from Kimball Charting Solutions, and they posted a weekly view of the DXY, of the US dollar index, and they also showed this channel over here. Now I looked at this channel over here and I said, you know what, this is something I want to take a deeper look into. I wanted to go ahead and put it up on my chart, and you could see I've included that line right over there. This is coming back on the weekly chart, looking at January in 2005, where we put in this area of support over here, and you could see over here it was again tested again in May of 2006. Once that broke, that became resistance and has held as resistance since, and been tested multiple times as recently over here as in January of 2017. That's a clean line. We know that's correct. Now you all know how I do my TA. My TA, I take this and I clone this line to get the other line, to get the lower line. Or if I was cloning the lower line to get the higher line, because the market is always full of symmetry. You all seen that happen over and over again. Interestingly enough, if I first go ahead, and I'm going to move this down over here in just a moment, but if I first go over here and focused on this trend line that the market was focused in on, you can see the touch over here. Again, over here, the third touch. Once that broke, it held as resistance. Over here, again, as support. Over here, as support, resistance. You could say that this line is important and the market has been paying attention to it. And you can see that once we broke that line over here, this channel over here to the downside, what happened? Breakdown, retest, perfectly right back into that line, and then a resumption off, conquering the markets all day long. That to me is signal over here, but we do have these two instances where price breached that trend line over here. Let's take a look lower and see what else we could see if we move down now to this line. See, I'm focused over here right now on that touch over here. This is in October 2011. And then over here in this area between March and April, again, that was holding as support. You could see that very clearly. Look over here, you could see that price then over here as early as August 2020. That also tested perfectly on that trend line support. We're trading below that now as well. That's a clean breakdown of both those instances. The reason I bring this up is because we have this line over here. It's a little bit, in my opinion, subjective. There's no symmetry to it. Watch what happens over here now as we go ahead and we bring this down to the lower point over here. Let's bring it down as low as possible to these touches over here in May of 2011 through August of 2011. When we spiked down below the trend line, never closing below it, we didn't exactly come in to touch that lower trend line support. Do you all see that the flow is coming back over here? This is our second day back since vacation. If you're all psyched about that, go ahead and smash that like button. I do appreciate the support of the channel and my work. Definitely appreciate it and love whenever that smash button, whenever that like button gets completely smashed. And then over here, the reason I'm showing this to you, because even if I respect the furthest price impulse to the downside, and then go ahead and use that clone trend line, you can see that we have broken down there still, and we have broken down over here. That is technically very bearish event taking place here on the DXY. There is one last line of hope. I'm going to call it over here, the line of hope over here. Let me go ahead and just make that a little bit darker for you. Before I show you that, I want to focus in over here. And just so everyone realizes, everyone right now is positioned short the US dollar. And by the way, since it's not clear in the chart, this goes from January of 2017. We're looking at 4 years right now, 4 years of data. And you can see currently right now, we have non-commercial asset managers, leverage funds, all positioned short the dollar. Now, some contrarians out there might like to say, well, if everyone is short the dollar, perhaps we're looking at putting in a bottom in the dollar. From my experience, like for example, if you were to go ahead and do that over here, well, you would have been on the wrong side of the market for well over a year, right? Same thing over here. When everyone went long the dollar, if you're like, well, I'm going to go short the dollar, you would have been off on the wrong side of the market for a couple of years. Now, this trade so far has been taking place for 1 year, where you see that the majority are short the dollar. They were correct as of March of 2020. That's when the dollar broke down technically. But what I'm trying to say is don't fight the crowd. Don't fight the crowd. You never want to follow the herd, so to speak. But we are momentum traders. We're not looking to catch bottoms or tops. We're looking for the sweet spot of the trade. And right now, it's clearly the momentum is favoring that dollar being sold. And we want to ride that as far as possible, as far as the market is going to show us. I made this line over here, the line of hope, darker for you so that you could see it's an important line. You could see over here all through 2008, 2009, again in 2010, it was a big deal, holding as resistance support before that. And then again, it was tested as support in 2018. It looks like the market is attracted to this level right now, and that's where we're headed. Right now, this trend line over here is showing the lowest impulse of price extended out, and we're below. We've broken down outside of that channel, no matter how you line it up. And it looks like we're being drawn towards over here 88.40. That's the line of hope. If that holds, the dollar could definitely bounce. Not only could the dollar bounce, the dollar could bounce and come in and test this area over here, right in this area. Let me just make that a little bit darker for myself and for you. By the way, this analysis I have to say that it benefits me the most, and it keeps me sharp, and it keeps me on the right side of the market. It is a pleasure and a joy to be able to share that with you, as well as share in this community with you. We could bounce over here off of 88.40 if that support holds and come up as high back around here towards 91, 92. 92, that would be realistic. I would say that there's a decent probability that could happen. But if we lose and break over here, this line of support, this line of hope, at that point, we are then looking at a much larger depreciation of the dollar that could take us down. First, a test of this area over here at 83.60, 83.58 in that area, and then further down as far as 80.65. Although those things could be unfolding in 2021, we are not trying to pick bottoms. Everything here technically is pointing to a lower dollar. We're going to continue riding this trade as long as possible because it is right now a dollar story. You could see over here, you have gold reacting over here, breaking out of that bull flag. Let me go ahead and just set that to auto, get a cleaner chart for you. Time to clean up my gold and silver charts over here and my trend lines. But rough sketch over here, we're in a massive uptrend right now in gold. Everything fundamentally pointing to a further extension of that bull market. I have been consistent in saying in 2021, I think we take out the all-time high on gold and continue going from there. Technically, we were on the defensive for a little while over here in the fall and into the winter of 2020 until we broke outside of that bull flag to the upside. That's occurring right now. It has not given an entry yet since breaking out to the upside. We're just going to have to wait for one to develop. If you're not in this trade now and it's something you're interested in, right now you must be patient and wait for that clarity, wait for the time to enter, and we'll be tracking that together. Silver has given some entries over here off of this 26 level after breaking out the second time on that retest and resumption off. A lot of you I know are in that trade. We're coming in now to that next resistance over here of 27.55. A breakout above this resistance, that's going to open up another possibility to get long here on a clean entry on silver. We'll be watching on tracking that. We have 29.50 as the next target. The 2020 high, right? The actual high was a little bit higher, right? At 29.86. But I have the resistance at 29.50. You could see that was where we tested over there, around that area. That's what we're tracking as the next resistance. Above there, silver could really start flying. We'll be watching that. Bitcoin over here, right over here, I believe this is off of actually, I don't know what this is off. So if you saw reports right now that more and more Bitcoin is being taken off of Coinbase, it's being taken off of all the exchanges. You're seeing large institutional buyers come in. There's no question we're looking at a real solid demand for a scarce asset. Everyone is aware of the trade. A lot of people are late. We're not. We're on time and early. A lot of people are late to this trade. The real FOMO is going to happen when? Is it above 50,000? Or is it above 100,000? I'm not so sure. Above 20,000, that was getting a lot of institutions interested, but the move from 20 to 30,000 unfolded really quick. We could see that we've had 20% pullbacks now since going into the halving. This was the third one, and although we haven't fully retraced it yet, these pullbacks are lasting very, very quickly. Now, anytime you enter Bitcoin, be mentally prepared for at least a 30% drawdown from wherever you buy during the bull market phase. Even though so far this bull market phase, we're seeing different aspects take place, characteristics. We're only seeing so far maximum 20% drawdowns, again, 3 of them, and 16.5% drawdown. Do have your orders in waiting as instead of trying to get in when price is coming off and trying to go in there and get an order. You could see over here this wick. This happened overnight. I was sleeping. This happened overnight. It was a quick wick down right into our area of support and then a wick back up. It has been brutal out there for those trying, and a lot of people have been looking for that pullback on Bitcoin since, dare I say it, 14,000. Again, at 19,000, a lot of people continue to wait for that pullback to enter on Bitcoin. The risk continues to be on the upside. I'm still uncertain what's next on Bitcoin. I said this morning over here as we were trading right around, I will call it 31,450, somewhere around there. I was saying I don't know what happens next on Bitcoin. That's where I stand. However, just so everyone knows, when it came to advising, just giving my opinion to close personal family about what they should do and when they should do it, look, the same advice I just gave you. Right now, the risk to the upside, if it were me, I would be buying Bitcoin and being mentally prepared for that pullback that could happen at any time. But this looks nice, and I don't know what's next for Bitcoin. I'm just watching. Obviously, I'm well positioned, holding my trade, but it's rare that I really don't have that feel for what's going to be unfolding next, and I don't have that now on Bitcoin. That's why I'm being clear about that and letting you know. On Ethereum, same exact thing. I just looked at this morning with you all. We had a 60% gain in a matter of days on Ethereum, and since then, price has been holding those gains extraordinarily well. You have to pay attention to that, although I don't chase price like this. Personally, I'd be waiting for a clearer entry. I don't know when that entry will be, but I do know that I will each day be looking at Ethereum with you, be looking at Bitcoin, and just giving you my opinion, my view, my eyes, and a look at it. Right now on both of them, I'm just optimistically cautious, and that's all I can say. Listen, we're getting back into it. 2021 is going to be extraordinarily special. Thanks everyone for all that you give, for all that you share. I'll see you all in the morning.